back in Connecticut? Are you starting to feel like this is home away from home at this point? It's like 4 in a row.
No, I just know that Bellator makes a lot of money for me over here. That's what I'm assuming.
Do you mind fighting over here? I mean, it's
I
totally across the country.
actually do not like fighting over here. Every time I've asked to fight on the West Coast. But, hey, it is what it is.
So what's the deal?
I feel like when I was in the UFC and I got the international departures, I felt it's the same thing.
You get Frank again. Is it a fight that you wanted, that you cared about for any reason? Was it something that was on your radar?
No, actually, the only fights that I like, the only fights I like are what's gonna get me closer to the belt. But if Frank does it, then I'm happy for it. I'm just happy to be here.
Is there motivation behind it because you did fight him and lose to him before, or is that just likely because it was so long ago?
No, you definitely have motivation to beat a guy that you beat that's beat you and then beat you grappling or it's like any type of game where you're like, oh, I got to get one back, or it's not the best out of 3 or stuff like that. So you definitely want it back.
Because it was 8.5 years ago or whatever it was. I mean, when you look at it and you start preparing for it, are there anything that you take away from that first one?
No, what you do is you just go and buy a better fighter now than we're a worse fighter then.
And that's why
I always go. I always try to be a better fighter than what I was in my last fight. So we'll say 8 years better veteran fighter. So that means I'm a better fighter.
When you think
but
about,
so is he. So
sure, yeah. When you think about Frank, do you apply that same thing to him?
You definitely have to apply it to the other guy, because then unless you're like, well, he really he sucks, but the way I look at it is everybody thinks I suck, so I'll go with I'm the sucky guy.
Do you think people think you suck?
Oh yeah, we got everybody.
You've been in there with some of the best guys ever.
Yeah, but I lost. It is what it is.
I mean, how do you reconcile that with yourself if you truly?
Oh, I don't. That's what people have opinions for. That's what sells stories.
What's your opinion of you at this point in your career?
Oh no, my opinion, I can fight the best in the world. I compete with the best guys right now. So
you wouldn't still be doing this.
No, I would. If I didn't think I could compete, I wouldn't do this.
Because I'm assuming if Frank's name wasn't on the other end of the line when they called, if it was somebody else who wasn't on the skid, you would have taken that fight too. You don't care who it is, right?
It doesn't matter who the guy is.
Talk to me about where you are though in your career at your age or my age. Anytime you hit plus 40, you're going to get these questions, right? About when's the end?
No, I got these at 36, 37. So.
When do you think about when the end might be, or do you not think about that?
For me, it's my competitive. First of all, that's the first step. If I'm not competitive, then I'll call it a day. And then the second thing that for me, I do have my my numbers where I'm like, okay, I got to get this many fights, or I'm this old, or I'm this, and that's kind of like you got your goal set, and right now the fastest route is to fight for the belt. So I just picture that, and then you got to go from there.
Where do you feel like Frank probably thinks he's at relative to you in terms of his career? Because you guys are in similar positions. Do you feel like he's looking at things that same way that you are?
Yeah, I think anybody that's in Bellator, because you usually in Bellator you're roughly right now, like if you're the upper echelon of you're roughly 2 fights away.
Does it help that you
versus like where over here you have a less shorter waiting line, because over there they're like UFC or whatever, they're like, oh, we got to put the belt on hold for a year and a half because we're gonna make a lot more money out of this guy versus this guy, So I mean, you've seen it like when Kane was on hiatus for like 5 years or 2 years or whatever, the belts, and then like, oh, we gotta have a interim belt. There was so much wish-wash over there where if we did a Grand Prix, that's one thing I like about the PFL is there's a new champion every year. It doesn't matter. unless you can keep them.
You guys are in the same city. How much are you guys around in the same circles with each other, and how tight are you guys over the last 8 years or so since you fought? And
Not
will that
really
be a
tight. I
factor?
mean, I will say MMA. I mean, we're MMA tight. Like, you know, we're all. I mean, how many times have I seen you?
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
12, 15, whatever. Yeah. So
So
you're about the same with them.
same about that.
Wow. I feel like I'm in good company now all of a sudden. All right, man. How do you feel like you get it done on Saturday? Friday?
You know, just go out there and just have fun. I think that's the biggest thing. Is just go out there and have fun. And, you know, put on a show for the fans.